This is going to be a quick video on how to assemble Echelon Connect EX 4S. Now this one is the one sold at Costco. These instructions also work for EX1 through EX7 as long as the flywheel is on the back. If this video helps you out, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. So I'm just going to make this super easy. We're just going to go step by step, and we're going to pretty much start with obviously taking the machine out of the box. After that, let's move on to step number one. All right, so step number one is going to be to remove these bolts here. So we're going to start off from the top. There's going to be 1, 2, 3. Once we're done with this side, we will remove the other side same way, 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, we got this side done. We're going to do the other side exactly the same. All right, we removed the 3 bolts here, took out the cardboard that was inside. Same thing on the other side, remove that. Now next step is going to remove these bolts here. So we're going to start off with this one. After this one, we're going to do this one here. So the tools come included in the box. So you're going to pretty much use this and the Allen wrench. All right, we'll go ahead and remove the first bolt, then we'll take off number 2. There you go, number 2 removed. After those 2 bolts are removed, we will move on to the next step, which is removing the bolts down here. So we got to remove this one here, and then this one back here. So let's go ahead and take those off. So there's one. We'll do the one on the back now. There's 2. Once that is done, let's move on to the next step. Next step is going to be to remove the frame. So what we'll do, pretty much just hold this, slide this back, and there you go, there's a frame. At this point you can remove the cardboard. And the plastic. All right, next step. To remove these little wheel chocks down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this little zip tie, pair of scissors, and then remove this chalk. Remove one, then remove the second one. So the second chalk, just push back, kind of slide out, as you can see. Once that is done, the 2 chalks are removed. You will then remove the front bracket. So move to the front, and then you will remove these 2 here and there. There we go. Once you remove that front bracket piece, you will install the front foot here. So you will not be reusing the 2 smaller bolts that came out. You'll be using the 2 longer foot bolts. Now these are marked on the packaging as foot bolts. These are the longer ones. So you'll slide this into place. This is the one with the wheels, and then you'll just put this. Then you'll just put the bolts right through. Once the front foot is installed, we will do the rear foot. So back here for the rear, same thing. We'll be using the 2 long foot bolts. They're again marked on the packaging. So we'll remove this piece here. Then install the bottom foot. All right, once the rear foot is installed, we will be installing the dumbbell holder, which is this, and we'll be using the 2 small screws that have the Phillips head. So these again are marked in your kit. After that, we will be installing the seat. So here, you just slide the seat in, and you'll tighten it with the wrench. Next step is to connect the handlebar post. Now you can see the cables here. There's also, this is the post. So it'll be going like this, down, and inside there's a cable. So you'll remove the little cable and you'll connect it. Once it's clipped on, you can remove the zip tie. Once that is done, you'll slide it in. Just release this knob here. This will allow the post to go all the way down. Next step is going to be the handlebars. So handlebars, you'll place it on the post, hold it in place with one hand, and then you'll put the handlebar bolts. Again, they're marked in the box. So once all four bolts are in there, hand tight, then you're gonna go ahead and use an Allen wrench to tighten them up. So here's just an idea of how the handlebars look. Doesn't really tell you on the instructions on which way they should be facing, but this should give you the idea. Next step is we're going to connect the handlebar post to the tablet post. There are some cables in there, so you'll have to pull them out and connect them. And once they're connected, you'll slide this in, and you will also tighten the two bolts underneath. These are the tablet bolts again. The tablet post bolts, they're marked on the packaging as well. So we'll go ahead and pull these cables out. So here you go. There's the two connectors. We will connect them together. So here's an up close on how to connect it. As you can see, two little prongs. Once connected, we will undo the zip tie. Remove the zip tie, and then just slide the bar in. Once we slide it in, we'll put the two tablet bolts. Next step is going to be installing the right pedal. So the pedal actually tells you right there, it has a little R. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but you'll see the R or L. So you'll grab the right pedal, remove the nut, then you'll slide it in here and basically just screw it in. So with this, you just got to make sure that the bolt is going in. You could freely turn this and it won't actually go in. You actually have to turn it from the inside. All right, once you get it as far as you can, hand tight, then you're going to go ahead and tighten it up with your wrench. Once the pedal is tight, then you'll slide in the nut, tighten that up. Then we'll just tighten the nut, make sure it's nice and tight. And there it is, good and tight. Now we'll move on to the left pedal. So now we're going to install the left pedal. So the biggest thing with this is the nut is actually going to come off going clockwise. So you have to actually go clockwise to remove the nut, not counterclockwise as normal. And then when you start screwing it in, you're actually going to be going counterclockwise instead of clockwise. All right, once we get it nice and snug, put the nut on. And again, remember, the nut's going counterclockwise. All right, once that's nice and tight, we'll move on to the next step. Next step is going to be to install the water bottle holders. So they'll be facing up, and you'll see two little holes here, pretty much screwed in there. And you'll be using the small screws that are labeled. Next step is going to be installing the tablet. Pretty simple. All we're going to do is remove the screws that are already attached to the tablet, and once we remove those screws, then we'll put the tablet onto the frame and screw it on. All right, so once we install the screen, you can see here just these 4 little screws. We connected the cable into the port here, the power cable, and then attach the 2 little screws, one here and one there, so to put this little plate cover back on. So now let's move on to the next step. So there you have it, completely assembled. Now the final step is just plugging in the power, which is done back here. And you're up and running. So hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. And the only thing left is to pretty much take it for a spin.